What is up, guys? It's Mateo's 2020 Politics here, and today I'm going to be talking about something rather depressing. So we all know the news. The Senate has voted to acquit Donald Trump of the crimes he's committed. Now, I wasn't surprised. This was really inevitable because after the Senate voted to not have any witnesses, which actually I was surprised about. I thought they would at least vote to have witnesses. Then I just knew we're gonna lose. I knew since the beginning because of how partisan the Republican Party is. I mean, what is a fair trial without witnesses? It's almost crazy because you have to try to get into the mind of the Republicans, and I've been trying to do that. And I still can't see why they would vote against having witnesses and new documents. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It's almost like they just want to get the whole impeachment trial over with, and they don't even want to dwell on it. Not dwell, but just spend a fair amount of time on it. Because they don't want to have witnesses, because either A, they want to just rush the trial and get it over with, or B, they know Trump is wrong, but they just don't want to have anybody to come and prove it. Somebody like John Bolton could have really shaped up a trial. And so we had Susan Collins and Mitt Romney. Thank you to you two for being brave, for voting, who voted for the witnesses, to allow the witnesses in the Senate trial. But sadly, the overall Republican base voted against it, and like that, the Senate went with it. The Senate voted against it. And once the actual vote for Donald Trump himself, whether to remove him from office or acquit him or not, came along, I was worried that somebody like Joe Manchin, a Democrat, would even vote in favor of Trump, because we know what Joe Manchin is like. He would rather support Donald Trump over Bernie Sanders in 2020. This guy's a total centrist. I mean, in one of his political ads, when he was running for re-election in West Virginia, he was holding a shotgun. A Democrat holding a shotgun on camera for an advertisement, like at a shooting range or something. It's so weird. So, total centrist guy. I really thought he was going to vote in favor of Trump, to acquit him. I was also worried. I had secondary worries, which means, like, I'm not actually worried, but it's, like, possibility. I was thinking it was a possibility for somebody like Kirsten Sinema or Doug Jones to vote to acquit Trump, because they're also centrists. And only one Republican actually voted to remove Trump from office. And even that one guy, Mitt Romney, who literally is, like, channeling John McCain through him right now, he only voted to remove Trump from office on the first article, the Ukraine article, not the witnesses article. And it's almost crazy to me because it's literally factually proven that Donald Trump committed crimes. It's just factually proven. So there's no excuse to defend him. I don't know why the Republicans came out and defended him. Like, if Bernie Sanders was president, and I were to send it, if it were to come out, if the news were to break that he asked Ukraine for dirt on his political rival, and he blocked people from testifying in Congress, aka obstruction of Congress, I would impeach him. No, I'm not gonna quit him just because he's a member of my party. So it just shows how spineless the Republicans in the Senate are, and the House too, because 0 of them voted to impeach Trump in the House and also in the Senate. And as I've said before, these people are Trump's pet dogs. They're being held around the neck by a leash. Now, mind you, this isn't the Republican Party overall. It's just the Republican Congress members. And it's shocking because, once again, Trump committed crimes. Why on earth would you vote to acquit him? I just don't understand. It just goes to show how partisan you are. There are different theories floating out there. My theory for why these Republicans are being so partisan is the fact that they see Trump as overwhelmingly popular in his base, so they want to just do everything they can, no matter the excuse, to defend Trump from being kicked out of office because they want to be popular with Trump's base. But thank goodness for somebody like Mitt Romney, because he actually was able to stand up and say, hey man, I'm a Republican, but what Trump did was wrong, it was messed up. Now, to be fair, he did a bit of a compromise because he actually voted to acquit Trump on Article 2, but he defended him, he voted to kick him out of office on Article 1. So, a bit of a compromise there, but still, he was far braver than the other Republicans. Because he actually said, hey, Trump committed crimes. This guy has to get impeached. He has to. There is no, the Democrats have been trying to impeach him for 3 years straight with the Mueller report. First of all, Democrats have not been trying to impeach him with the Mueller report. The Mueller report or investigation was its own independent thing, its own independent investigation. And even then, they weren't trying to impeach him, they were just trying to see if he committed crimes. So it's just false that the Democrats have been trying to impeach Trump. They weren't even involved in the Mueller investigation. And even the Mueller investigation itself wasn't attempting to impeach him. They were just trying to see if he had committed impeachable offenses. So that's the most common excuses the Republican Party makes, the Republican congressmen make. Another one they make, another defense they say is Donald Trump won the 2016 election and Democrats can accept it. Okay, honestly, who cares? Who cares? And Democrats can't accept it. Trump committed a crime. There is no, Democrats have been trying to impeach Trump all along. Democrats can't accept Trump won. It doesn't matter. Trump committed crimes. Can we, stay on topic? We're trying to impeach him. So, now that Democrats are actually able to have the guts and to stand up to Donald Trump and impeach him for these impeachable offenses, the Republicans start using all the excuses. One really dumb excuse and easily debunkable excuse they make is, Trump won 63 million votes in 2016. Yeah, that means he lost the popular vote. Look, I get your point. He won the election, but he still lost the popular vote. But the strongest argument the Republicans make is probably the whole let the American people decide. I get it. Democracy is important. But this is about impeachment. It's about Trump committing impeachable offenses. So it's not like we're going to let Trump stay in office for a whole other, until the end of his term, his first term, and see what the American people think. No, this is literally about him committing crimes. We're trying to have a trial here. It's a court. So there is no let's let the voters decide. No, we're having a trial here. So it's so obvious that they're just trying to find excuses. And I'm like, dude, Trump committed crimes. You know that he committed crimes. You know it's wrong. And you're just making up excuses for him because you want to get reelected. So for somebody like Mitt Romney, I'm really proud of him. I straight up approve of him now because he knows that Trump is overwhelmingly popular with his base. It's something like his approval rating is something like in the late 80s with the Republican Party, which is crazy when compared to being in the 60s at the beginning of his presidency. So Mitt Romney is basically possibly throwing his whole career away by doing this. He knows that by voting to remove Donald Trump from office, that he is risking himself not winning re-election in the Senate. But thank goodness to him because he voted for morality instead of for personal advantages. Because look, I was thinking that every single Republican would vote to quit Trump, and almost every Democrat would vote to remove him, except for something like Joe Manchin. So a couple Democrats would probably actually vote to quit Trump, especially Joe Manchin. So I was surprised that Joe Manchin voted to actually remove Trump from office, and that B, Mitt Romney actually voted to also remove Trump from office, but just on his first article. So you should watch Mitt Romney's speech on why he was going to remove Donald Trump from office. Very emotional. Props to him, because unlike the rest of the partisan Republican Congress members who just wanted to defend Trump with all the excuses possible, no matter how weak they are, just to get reelected, unlike them, Mitt Romney was actually able to stand up to Trump and point out he actually committed crimes. It's not something disputable. Like with the whole Bill Clinton deal, he had an affair with his wife. He had an affair, right? He cheated on his wife. That's not an impeachable offense. So in that case, it was just ridiculous because the Republican Party was saying that Bill Clinton was very powerful. He was trying to hold New Democrat triangular strategy of, hey, I'm a centrist. Dear Republicans, I'm a centrist, so I can appeal to you. I'm a middle-of-the-road Democrat. I'm above the fray. So that whole idea worked back in the 90s and even in the early 2000s. And because of that, Mitt Romney was why Mitt Romney? Different people. Because of that, Bill Clinton was a very tough opponent in presidential races. And Republicans saw this, so they wanted to impeach him for just the tiniest thing. And so they tried to impeach Bill Clinton over him cheating on his wife. Obviously, that's not an impeachable offense. But with what Donald Trump has done, the whole asking Ukraine for illegal information on Joe Biden and blocking witnesses from testifying in Congress, that's impeachable. That's just common sense. But I'm also upset at Democrats for not including everything that Trump has done, which is legal. For example, Donald Trump violated freedom of the press over a year ago when he just didn't allow CNN into his White House. That's a violation of freedom of the press. Then he also committed another crime with the whole having his activity with Stormy Daniels in 2016 and using hush money to keep her quiet, campaign money to keep her quiet. That's illegal, campaign finance crime. So that is two crimes right there that weren't included in Democrats' articles of impeachment. They should have been included. Now, even then, I think Republicans still would have found an excuse to defend Trump somehow. I know it's crazy, but it would have made the Democrats seem more agile, like they knew what they were doing. With the whole, Trump asked Ukraine for some dirt on Joe Biden, and Donald Trump blocked witnesses from testifying, that's not going to be as effective as having those two things in addition to the whole violation of freedom of the press and campaign finance violation. So all those things together would have made for a stronger argument, but would the Republicans have still been this partisan? Maybe. So summary of the video, the Senate voted to acquit Donald Trump along partisan lines. So basically, every single Democrat voted to remove him from office. Every Republican voted to acquit him, except for Mitt Romney, who on the first article of impeachment voted to also remove him, just like Democrats. So thank you, Mitt Romney. You were able to stand up for the sake of morality and democracy. See you guys later, and bye.